Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into Medallion Financial's latest 10Q filing, and let me tell you, it's a report that might have you thinking about pawn shops more than Wall Street. We're going to figure out what's actually going on here. If you are interested in getting straight insights into corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. And check out our Discord community, linked in the description below, to discuss what you think the real story is. Medallion Financial, they're a company that invests in other businesses and helps people get loans. They call themselves a specialty finance company. They're basically a holding company. They own a bunch of smaller companies. The main one is Medallion Bank, which gives out loans to buy things like RVs and boats, also known as recreation equipment. Also, they have a stake in other commercial businesses, including historically a very specific one. You might remember them from their less successful ventures like investing in taxi medallions, so it looks like they're trying to change things up. Let's see if their latest report card is passing with flying colors or if they need some extra credit. Let's talk numbers. First up, the balance sheet. We need to see what they own versus what they owe. Total assets, $285 billion, so they're still a pretty big player. Digging deeper, their deposits, which is mostly money that people have in Medallion Bank, are up to $2.02 billion of last year. So it's a sign of things tightening up. That's almost 70 million in deposits leaving, which could spell trouble. Long-term debt, what they owe for more than a year, is about $200 million. But short-term debt, the debt they need to pay back within the next 12 months, jumped up to $111 million. A pretty hefty climb from the end of last year, which was only $49 million of last year, which was only $49 million of. This can also spell trouble. One concerning number is accumulated other comprehensive loss, or CORP. They're at a $3 million loss in this area, which is a sign of previous financial performance problems. Alright, moving on to the statement of operations. Here is where we see how profitable the company is. Medallion Financial. Interest and fees on loans is the money they make when people pay them back over time, are at $73 million. That's pretty good growth, but this may not be all sunshine and daisies. There is more to this story. Their net interest income, that's interest made subtracted by interest they had to pay, is at $51 million. Their provision for credit losses, meaning the amount they have to prepare to lose in the form of loans not being paid, is at $20 million. This says to me their loans may be higher risk, or they know a lot of people won't pay. One number that's way up is their gains on equity investments. These equity investments can be kind of like venture capital style. They made a net gain of $9 million. These can be risky as well, but it shows they have a potential in place to make some profitable decisions. Their salaries and benefits is almost $10 million. This is up from last year, indicating the expansion of the business. All of this leads to a good net profit for the company, coming in at over $12 million, much higher than last year. So they are improving. But it's not all profits, folks. Before we get too excited, let's check the consolidated statement of comprehensive income. Here we see something that is a net gain, which is really great. So the final number, total comprehensive income attributable to Medallion Financial Corp, is about $12.6 million. This is much better than the $9 million of the previous year, so things seem to be doing great. Let's take a quick look at the owners and see how the company is treating them. Treasury stock, meaning shares that the company bought back, increased. They bought shares back, likely because it's a good investment and it increases share price. The company is not paying out any shares of preferred stock, no payment obligations, meaning extra money to use and invest. This can indicate growth for the company, but perhaps to the expense of paying back preferred stockholders. There is much here in the critical accounting policies section, which is where the management lays out their most important and most uncertain policies. It seems they value their investments in other companies at cost, but they say this value may change when it's sold, which can be a double-edged sword. Their loan risk is calculated by taking into account the economic outlook, which seems fine, but if there is a recession, that could impact their risk evaluations of current and prospective clients. One section I always have to point out in these kinds of reports are the commitments and contingencies, which can be very interesting in a bad way. This lists legal issues. It seems they had reached an agreement with the SEC that has yet to be approved. To summarize, Medallion Financial is in a state of shifting business, with an increased interest income, which is looking good on the surface, but is paired with potential issues and economic risks. They're making more money. So what's my take? Medallion Financial is interesting. They seem to be shifting away from their old business. I see as potential opportunities that there may be opportunities for growth through new lending products along with their ventures in equity and strategic partnerships. The major risk comes from a possible economic downturn in addition to issues about regulatory red tape. Overall, the company is in a place of transition. While their risk mitigation and compliance processes do seem to improve, they need to ensure financial stability going forward with new management at the helm. I would estimate a target share price of between $16 to 110, so the company might have some room to grow. What's your take on these numbers and what does it mean for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Also, check out our Discord server with the link in the description to give more of your thoughts and analysis. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.